Kim Kardashian has done it once more, another milestone, another victory, another chapter in her remarkable journey that proves she is far more than a reality TV star. Defying all odds, the woman once brushed off as a famous for being famous socialite has risen as a legal scholar, a powerhouse entrepreneur, and an unstoppable force of nature. After 6 exhausting years of late-night study sessions, waves of self-doubt, and unyielding perseverance, Kim has officially conquered law school, adding yet another achievement to her ever-expanding empire.
From reality star to legal luminary. Kim's unstoppable rise.
This was no ordinary journey. Kim didn't follow the traditional route. She chose the road less traveled, enrolling in a California state bar registered program that required her to build upon 75 college credits. What was meant to last 4 years stretched into 6, challenging her strength at every step. Each course brought moments of doubt, tears, and triumph. She revealed in a heartfelt Instagram post. Yet through it all, she never broke. Her graduation wasn't just a personal achievement. It was a defiant statement to every critic who ever underestimated her. And the reason behind it all must not be forgotten. This wasn't about prestige or another line on her resume. Kim's pursuit of law stemmed from a genuine drive to create change. She became a passionate advocate for criminal justice reform, successfully fighting for the release of several wrongfully incarcerated individuals. At her graduation celebration, some of those very people stood beside her, their freedom a living testament to her impact.
The path less traveled, the personal toll, and the public triumph.
Kim didn't step into Harvard or Yale. She didn't slip on a college sweatshirt and vanish into a campus library. Instead, she chose a route as unorthodox as her rise to fame. The California Law Office Study Program, a rare path that lets aspiring lawyers apprentice under practicing attorneys rather than attend a traditional law school. For Kim, it was the only option she had for young children. She was managing global businesses, but the mission burned too fiercely to ignore. With the guidance of attorneys Jessica Jackson and Aaron Haney, she committed to a 4-year legal apprenticeship. It was grueling, unforgiving, at times utterly thankless. She studied 18 hours a week, on airplanes, in hotel rooms, squeezed between red carpet appearances, constitutional law, contracts, criminal procedure, torts, dozens of exams, thousands of pages, no shortcuts, no celebrity exceptions, and it didn't always go smoothly.
From failing baby bar to a boss lawyer.
In 2021, she failed the baby bar, a brutal first-year exam required for apprentices. Twice. She was devastated, humiliated. Critics sneered. Headlines mocked. Social media branded her a fraud. But Kim didn't flinch. She sat for the exam a 3rd time and passed. I cried. I failed. I doubted myself, she later admitted. But I never gave up. Every victory fueled her. Every setback hardened her resolve. She didn't just want to become a lawyer. She wanted to become this lawyer. Someone who knew the sting of struggle, who knew what it meant to be told no, to be underestimated, and to rise anyway. But the obstacles weren't only academic. Beyond the textbooks, her personal life was fracturing. Her marriage to Kanye West grew darker, more volatile. Public breakdowns, custody battles, a mental health crisis unfolding in front of the entire world. Accusations, outbursts, abuse, emotional, psychological, relentless. But through it all, Kim kept studying. She kept showing up for her children. She kept drafting legal briefs between schemes, campaigns, and co-parenting in the middle of chaos. In 2023, she passed her final exams. In 2024, she officially completed her legal apprenticeship. And in 2025, she stood in a sunlit room surrounded by loved ones, celebrating not just the end of her legal journey, but the birth of a new identity. I embarked on an unconventional path, she reflected in her graduation tribute. But that's the beauty of life. You step into the unknown, you push through, and you emerge with knowledge and strength no one can ever take away. Kim didn't cross a traditional stage in cap and gown. She stepped into history, with conviction, with courage, and with a crystal-clear sense of purpose.
The Kanye storm. How Kim survived the most explosive divorce of the decade.
Behind the billion-dollar empire and flawless Instagram aesthetic, Kim Kardashian was waging the most brutal battle of her life. A A war fought not in boardrooms or courtrooms, but in the painfully public unraveling of her marriage to Kanye West. What began as a fairy tale romance straight out of a Hollywood script, the rapper proposing with a 15-carat diamond in a packed baseball stadium, Kim tearfully saying yes as fireworks lit up the sky, slowly twisted into a psychological nightmare that would push even this famously composed mogul to her breaking point. The cracks began to surface in 2018, when Kanye's increasingly erratic behavior, from bizarre pro-Trump rants to his tearful TMZ breakdown claiming slavery sounded like a choice, became impossible to overlook. But no one could have foreseen the nuclear fallout that followed. As Kanye's mental health spiraled, so did his attacks on Kim, accusing her of infidelity, of keeping him from their children, even going so far as to allege she was sex trafficking their daughter North in since-deleted tweets that sent the internet into chaos. Kim was living in constant crisis mode, an insider reveals. One day she'd be finalizing a multi-million-dollar schemes deal. The next she'd be scrambling to handle Kanye's latest Twitter meltdown. She had therapists on speed dial, security teams on standby. It was like navigating a minefield 24/7. The breaking point came in 2022 with Kanye's anti-Semitic tirades, which led to major brands cutting ties with him. As companies like Adidas severed partnerships overnight, Kim became collateral damage in the scandal, forced to publicly condemn her ex-husband's hate speech while privately fighting to shield their 4 children from the fallout.
Kanye, a monster in disguise for Kim.
The divorce proceedings turned into a public spectacle, with Kanye leaking private text messages, showing up uninvited at Kim's homes, and even dating, then very publicly discarding a woman who looked strikingly like his ex-wife, in what many perceived as a psychological power move. Through it all, Kim kept an almost superhuman poker face, attending law classes, expanding her businesses, even scoring a Saturday Night Live hosting gig where she deadpanned about the turmoil. "I divorced the best rapper of all time, and I'm still Kim Kardashian." But those closest to her knew the cost. There were nights she'd cry herself to sleep, then wake up at 5 a.m. to study for the baby bar exam, a family friend shares. She was determined not to let personal tragedy derail her professional goals. When Kanye infamously wore White Lives Matter shirts and praised Hitler, Kim didn't just quietly pull away. She publicly donated $1 million to anti-hate organizations, transforming scandal into an act of activism. Now, as the dust clears from one of Hollywood's most chaotic divorces, Kim has stepped forward not as a victim, but as a textbook example of crisis management. She secured full custody of her children. She preserved every one of her business empires. She even completed her law degree. In the ultimate show of power, she's reportedly added clauses to all new business contracts, specifically shielding her brands from being dragged into Kanye's future controversies. This wasn't just survival. This was a masterclass in damage control, explains celebrity crisis manager Jonah Blake. While Kanye was busy burning bridges, Kim was quietly building an ark. She transformed what could have been a career-ending disaster into undeniable proof that nothing, not even a nuclear-level divorce, can dismantle her empire. Kim Kardashian is the woman who refuses to be defined by a single chapter of her story. She is the woman who turns pain into strength, criticism into fuel, and setbacks into epic comebacks. She is the woman who, no matter the obstacle, keeps rising higher, stronger, and more unstoppable than ever.